I woke up a completely different person. The manifestation blocks that frustrated me for years, they were just gone. Because the night before, I experimented with a strange neurological pattern interrupt created by combining Neville Goddard's forgotten technique with Joe Dispenza's science. And that night, I had the most wonderful, vivid dream of me dying. But I knew it symbolized my old self dying. And by morning, my external reality had already begun shifting. And in 24 hours, I manifested something that I had been trying to create for months. And so this 3-minute mind hack changed everything when nothing else would. And I'm about to show you exactly how to do it. But before we jump into this, I want to quickly mention something that might help you. Because if you're enjoying this content and you want to go deeper with all this manifestation work, I've created something special called the Abundance Activation. And you can find it in the description down below. Because here's the thing. While the technique that I'm about to share is powerful all on its own, the activation, it takes everything to the next level. Because it helps you align to the frequency of abundance in a way that opens you up to opportunities that you might have missed right now, or you might be missing right now. Because if you're tired from living paycheck to paycheck and want to experience what it feels like to have more than enough, then this could be exactly what you need. The activation works on a neurological and identity level, meaning that it helps your mind, body, and soul align with abundance, which is really your natural state of being and your birthright. So check out the link in the description. There's other goodies there as well, and if that resonates with you. And it's helped a lot of my students create remarkable shifts in their financial reality. Okay, so let's start with the problem, which is manifestation blocks. And my man over here is wanting money, but it's blocking him, okay? But here's what was driving me crazy. Imagine I understood the theory. I read all the books, watched all the YouTube videos. I can quote Abraham Hicks in my sleep. And I was teaching this stuff, but there was this gap between what I knew and what was showing up in my reality. Because my conscious mind was saying yes, while the subconscious mind was saying no. And if you're watching this, I'm guessing you might feel the same way. The frustration that, or knowing something should work, but it's just not working. It's not happening for you. That is because your subconscious mind is saying no, while your conscious mind is saying yes. It's like being on a dating app where everyone else is getting married, but you can't even get a single match. What am I doing wrong? Because your morning mantra, right between brushing your teeth and questioning your life choices, is exactly that. But I hit my breaking point last summer because I was trying to manifest a specific business opportunity for months. I had the vision boards, the affirmations, the meditation, energy clearing. I was doing it all. I was doing all the techniques, but nothing was working, and I was experiencing years of resistance. I was like the manifestation of that friend that goes to the gym twice a day, meal preps on Sundays, and still complains that they're not seeing results while they are secretly demolishing a pint of Ben & Jerry's every night at 2 a.m. We all know that friend. I was that friend. But then one night, after another failed attempt at letting go, which, let's be honest, it's like trying to think about pink elephants. I threw my journal across the room and I yelled out to the universe, for real, like, what am I missing? What am I missing? What was I missing? That's when it hit me. The problem wasn't the techniques. What if the problem was me? Or more specifically, my subconscious programming. Because that's when I found the breakthrough. And I combined Neville's teachings and Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings as well. But there I was, 1 a.m. in a deep YouTube rabbit hole that started with manifestation videos and somehow ended with watching Japanese people, Japanese farmers growing square watermelons. Don't ask me how I got there. We've all been there. But you know what? It hit me like a rock. It's like when you are in that rock bottom moment, when the algorithm stops suggesting self-help videos and it starts throwing you how to make friends as an adult. Like, thanks YouTube. I didn't need that emotional damage today. But somewhere between the manifestation videos and the square watermelons, I stumbled upon a Neville lecture that I'd never heard before. And he said something that slapped me right in the face. He quoted in that lecture, the subconscious mind must accept the idea completely. The subconscious mind must accept the idea completely before it can be manifested. Not just understand it, but accept it completely. Wow. And then I realized that was my problem. My conscious mind was saying, yes, I'm abundant, I'm abundant, I'm abundant. But my subconscious mind was basically saying, all right, bro, tell that to your bank account, right? Neville and Joe was the answer. Because I remembered something that Joe Dispenza says, and it's about pattern interrupts and how they can bypass the analytical mind to access the subconscious mind instantly or directly. And that was like two pieces of a puzzle. That's the light bulb moment. The two pieces clicking together in my brain. What if I could create a pattern interrupt that would slip past my conscious mind and go straight to my subconscious and deliver a new programming? That sounds awesome. Pattern interrupts bypass the conscious mind. Okay? So let's talk about that. The neural pattern interrupt, because this is where it gets interesting. And it's where most people get it completely wrong. All right? So what is this neural pattern interrupt? But this is what I created. Now, there are five specific steps to this, and it's based on simple neurological principles. Your brain can't hold contradictory physical and mental states simultaneously. When your body is in one state, but your mind is trying to maintain another state, something has to give, okay? Remember that. And usually it's your conscious resistance. It's like trying to be angry while skipping. I dare you to go ahead and try it. You are going to look like a psychopath, but I bet you and I promise you, you're not going to be angry anymore. When you skip, it signals to your body that you're happy. But I needed something more powerful than skipping. I needed something that would completely short circuit those usual thought patterns. Okay? And this is the formula. First, you got to identify the block. That's the very first step. For me, the manifestation, the identity, I identified my core manifestation block. And for me, it was, I don't truly believe I deserve financial abundance. And that's because of my old, traumas with my old business partner, past failed businesses and whatnot. But that's what it was for me. Okay? You got to be honest with yourself. What's the thought that creeps in when you're trying to manifest? That one thing that makes you feel like you're lying to yourself. Second, you got to create that opposite of that belief. So for me, it was I completely accept that I am worthy of unlimited financial abundance. Simple as that. Opposite belief. Number 3, you got to relax. And I created this pattern interrupt that was so easy that my conscious mind couldn't maintain its resistance. So here's what I did. Relax and interrupt. I put on some soft music with no lyrics, got myself into a deeply relaxed meditative state for about 5 minutes, put my awareness in my body and out of my mind and into my body. Because once I knew I was completely relaxed, I commanded that new belief into my subconscious. Here's what I said. Source, God, universe, whatever it is for you, I completely accept that I am worthy of unlimited financial abundance. Now, here's the most important piece. I had to completely let go of that to source. I said, however that is going to take place, it is up to you, not me. Just let it go. But here's the thing, it worked. Because my conscious mind was out of the way because I was so relaxed that it couldn't maintain its usual resistance to this new belief. So I installed the new programming. And number 5, you just got to feel the shift. Number 5 is the easiest part. You just feel the shift. When you do this, there is a window where your subconscious mind is wide open to new programming. And Dr. Joe talks about this when you creep down into lower brainwave states. And the moment I finished this exercise, I felt different. It wasn't dramatic, no angels singing, no sudden enlightenment, just this subtle shift, like something had clicked into place. You know that feeling when you are carrying like a heavy backpack, or you're going hiking or camping, and you finally take it off, and you don't immediately notice how much lighter you feel, but when you try to put on that backpack, you realize how heavy it actually was. It was like that. I went to bed that night, half expecting to wake up with Jeff Bezos money. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But something even more interesting happened. That night, I had the most vivid dream of my life. Yes, it was a wet dream. No, I dreamt I was in a control room with screens in front of me. And it was showing me different memories from my life, specifically memories where I'd formed beliefs about money and success. Yeah, it was the last couple of years and some during childhood. But in that dream, I was literally rewiring connections, right? I was unplugging cables from negative memories and then plugging them into positive memories. And the dream me was having the time of his life, just yanking cords out, plugging it back in. That's what I love doing, yanking it out and plugging it back in. When I woke up, I immediately knew something has changed. There was this absence. The usual morning anxiety about money just wasn't there. Now, I'm not saying this exercise and a dream completely transformed my financial situation overnight, but it did something even more important. It removed this internal resistance that I had within me. And it's been blocking me from everything else that I was trying to do. And so that morning, checked my email as usual, and there it was, an inquiry from an old client. I had reached out months ago, and I had never heard back from this client. And they wanted to work with me on exactly the type of project that I've been trying to create. Exact scope, exact budget, everything to a T. I first thought it was spam. I'm like, haha, very funny universe. Now show me the real emails. You know, the ones with the bill reminders, the subscription renewals. But this was real. We scheduled a call that day, and by the end of the day, we had signed the contract. So within 24 hours of doing this subconscious neural pattern interrupt, I had manifested a project that I'd been trying to create for months. That was the before and after. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Over the next few weeks, I noticed other changes. Okay? I stopped obsessively checking my bank account. And if you're anyone else like that refreshes their bank account like Instagram, right? I stopped doing that. That was weird. I started making decisions from abundance rather than scarcity, and opportunities started coming to me instead of me chasing them. My existing clients started referring new business without even me asking. I was adding value to their lives, apparently, because that's what I do. The most profound change wasn't external though, it was internal. That voice inside my head that always said, you don't deserve this, or this won't work for you, it was gone. It wasn't completely gone, but it was quieter. Like it had lost its conviction. Okay? So, why does this work? Why does this approach work? Well, we've got the science behind that. Now, the reason why it works is when traditional manifestation methods often don't, is because it comes down to basic neuroscience. Your brain forms neural pathways, okay? I should have wrote that down here. But anyway, your brain puts neural pathways, and they're based on repeated thoughts and experiences. Now, these become your default programming, and traditional manifestation techniques try to create new neural pathways through repetition, affirmations, visualizations. Okay? Now, that is the old way of doing things, or the hard way of doing things. It's like you're trying to create a new path through a dense forest by walking through it once a day. Look, eventually it'll work, but it's going to take a long time, and it's going to be very, very hard. You're going to get a lot of scratches and probably some questionable rashes as well. But this exercise is different. Okay? Instead of trying to create a new path, it temporarily disables the old path, creating an immediate opening for programming. Okay? Now, cognitive load theory, what is that? Well, it's like trying to recite your usual negative self-talk while solving a complex math problem upside down. Your brain literally doesn't have the bandwidth to do that. Okay? Now, you also have contradictory states that can't coexist together. And that momentary gap, that opening that it creates when you get into a deeply relaxed state, when you are in a deeply relaxed state, inserting your new program directly into your subconscious bypasses the gatekeepers of your analytical mind. Okay? Now, that's where I developed that simple practice to maintain this unblocked state. Now, every morning, I would identify any resistance I'm feeling towards my goals, whatever it is I'm trying to create. I sit down into a comfortable seated position, get really relaxed for 3 minutes. Now, if you need to take longer to settle your analytical mind, then do it. But when I am in a deeply relaxed state, I command that opposite belief and install them, and then surrender to Source, to God. And I end up finishing with 3 deep breaths and feeling gratitude for that new belief. Release and trust. Now, the key is consistency. Okay? Because 3 minutes every day is better than an hour once a week. Your brain responds to regular input, not occasional intensity. Everyone's manifestation blocks are different. Maybe yours isn't about money, maybe it's about relationships or health, or just creative expression. The process works the same way, but you need to identify your specific block. What is the belief that's holding you back? What is that thought that always creeps in when you're trying to manifest something? Because your subconscious, acceptance equals manifestation, okay? The subconscious mind must accept the idea completely, and that is when manifestation happens. Now, I'm not saying this is some magical cure at all, but it's not going to go make you a millionaire overnight or solve all your problems. But what it will do is remove the internal resistance that's been sabotaging you and your manifestation efforts. And that's exactly the most important part. It's actually the most important part. Because it's like trying to drive with one foot in the gas and the other foot on the brake. You can have the most powerful manifestation technique in the world, but if your subconscious mind is hitting the brake, sorry, you're not going anywhere, except maybe to the mechanic to fix your smoking brakes. Okay? So, your reality reflects only what your subconscious mind has accepted. And here's my challenge for you today. Try this out for yourself. Try this relaxing subconscious reprogramming hack. Do it tonight, then pay attention to what happens tomorrow. Not just externally, but internally. I want you to notice how you feel. Notice how your thoughts change. And then, come back and tell me what happened. Drop a comment down below with your experience, because I read every single one. And I am genuinely curious to see how this works for you. And action is what creates reality as well. It's one thing to know this knowledge, but to take action on it is actually what gets you results. And so if you found this video helpful and you want to go deeper with this work, remember to check out all the resources in the description. It takes everything we've covered today to the next level and helps you align to the frequency of abundance in ways that create shifts in your reality. And now, voila. This technique changed everything for me, and I truly believe it can do the same thing for you. The key is understanding that manifestation isn't about external techniques, but it is about what your subconscious mind has accepted as true. And then, that is when your manifestation will show up.